Hey guys, okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make a super snuggly bunny pattern. And I've named this pattern Some Bunny Loves You. I just thought it's very sweet. This is coming in perfect time for Valentine's, but also it's a bunny, so it's a great Easter project too. And realistically, a snuggly bunny is just a perfect gift for any time of the year, of course. So no limitations, obviously, but I just thought perfect timing to go ahead and share an adorable little bunny pattern, especially with a name like Some Bunny Loves You. So in the link in the description below, before I get started here with everything, you will find a link to all of the materials that you see before you in case you don't have any of them and you want to shop online and have them shipped directly to you. I get almost all of my supplies I get on Amazon and have it delivered right to me. I do get a lot of stuff from Michael's as well, and you know, the whole curbside pickup thing right now. But anyway, I do have links in the description below for all of the materials that you're seeing in front of you. So if you are missing any, just go ahead and click those links. And if you're a Prime member, you're going to be getting stuff like probably same day or next day. So you'll be good to go very, very soon. There's also a link to the written pattern. If you would rather be following that than a video, go ahead and click that. Or if you want the written pattern to keep and have on hand and follow along with the video, then you have both. So let's go ahead and get started with just going over what you're going to need for this pattern before we get started. So this is just a really nice soft yarn that I thought was really perfect for this pattern. So I'm using the Bernat Baby Velvet yarn by Yarnspirations. It's super, super soft. The recommended hook size for this yarn is 4.5 millimeters, but for this pattern I'm using a 4mm hook. You'll find in a lot of if you haven't already been following me for a while already, just an FYI, I don't always follow the recommended hook size, so please don't let that distract you. I've had a lot of people message me going, oh, I just want to double check because the recommended hook size for this yarn, I understand, but sometimes I just create something and I like the look of it and the hook and the yarn don't always match. So don't feel like, you're buying the wrong thing if it doesn't match exactly, because I don't always match exactly. Story of my life. So anyway, 4mm crochet hook, Bernat Baby Velvet yarn. And of course you can supplement any of these materials. You're just going to get a bit of a different look. Stitch markers. Definitely a must for this pattern. Use whatever you like, but I personally love these ones. So they don't snag my yarn. So I really, really like that. For the eyes and nose on the bunny, you can go ahead and use whatever you want to. I've had, you can use felt and sew it on. You can crochet eyes and noses. Like I've tried all of the above. I really, really like this kit. I'm just going to show it to you quickly. It's a safety. I never saw this before until I was just getting frustrated with trying to make the perfect eyes and nose for this bunny, to be honest with you. And I just got kind of fed up and went to Amazon to see if they have stuffed animal eyeballs and noses that I could buy. And they did, lo and behold. So this is kind of cool because the eye, like it just literally goes into, like you stick this in the face and then it has a little like backing that you put it right on there and it's going to lock it in. So you don't got to be scared. Like I kind of always shy away from buttons for that very reason. I just don't like the idea of a choking hazard. So I very rarely use buttons in my projects, but you can use buttons. It's totally up to you. So anyway, that's what I've used. Obviously you're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle for sure, and you're gonna need to stuff your little bunny. So it's really hard to see from this angle, so I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna hold it sideways. This is by Loops and Threads Supreme Fiber Fill. You can use whatever fill you want. I just tend to like to go for the hypoallergenic ones, just because whatever, I don't know, it makes me feel like it's safer. I don't know, not necessarily safer. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's just, you know, a surefire thing that whoever you're giving this stuffy to, it's not going to impact them. You know, some people have allergies and stuff like that. So whenever I see hypoallergenic, I like to just go for that, but any fill is fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with making our adorable little bunny. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, and I want to make note here that I've made a point of going in a specific order with the written pattern in this video to make putting this bunny together as seamless and enjoyable as possible. Okay, so it's really important that you do the steps in the order that I'm recommending. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with the legs. So we're going to make a magic ring. You're just going to lay the yarn over your hand like this, hold it in place with your thumb for a second, and then you're going to wrap it around your hand and cross it over the yarn here. Okay, just cross it over like that. Now, holding it in place with your thumb, you're going to take your hook and go under this first piece and over that other piece and just pull it up carefully. Now, this is kind of awkward because holding everything in place, you got to kind of get your hand out of there and pick up your working yarn. And then you're going to chain one. This is a very awkward step. Don't worry. It is worth it for the magic ring, because then there's no like weird little opening or anything like that. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet. So you did a chain one. Now we're going to single crochet 5 times into our magic ring, being careful to make sure that we're working over both of these pieces of yarn here. Okay, so you're going to put your hook right into the middle of the magic ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull, right through both. Make sure you don't lose your yarn like I just did. If at any point in this pattern you find that I move on from going over a stitch, if I move on too quickly and you need a little more focus on a particular stitch, there are stitch tutorials on my channel where I focus on the stitches specifically. Because we're focusing on a pattern here, I just like to go through the first 1 or 2 stitches slowly and then we move it along, okay? So again, you're just going to put your hook in the magic ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now you've got your 5 single crochets. You want to make sure that they're all straight, and this is the importance of doing it over both of the pieces of yarn, because you're going to pull up the one that's a little tail end and pull your magic ring closed. Then you're going to close this round with a slip stitch into that chain 1 space. It is going to be a little bit awkward, especially using this yarn, because it is a bit hard to see your stitches, which is the importance of the stitch marker, which I will show you now. So you're going to close with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1. Now we're always going to be closing our rounds into our chain 1 space. Like I said, this yarn, it's very hard to see your stitches, which can also make it hard to count your rounds, to find your chain 1, all those things. So if you use your stitch marker and just put it into your chain 1 space, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to keep your place. So now what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 2 times in every stitch around. Okay, so that's 1, and then going back into that very same stitch, I'm doing another single crochet. So it's 2 single crochets in that 1 stitch. And you're just going to go ahead all the way around, working 2 single crochets into every single stitch all the way around. So by the time that you get back to the beginning, you should have 10 stitches in total. Okay, and again, I know it's really hard to see your stitches using this yarn, but it really is worth it. Okay, so when you get back around to the beginning here, you're just going to close your round with a slip stitch into that chain 1 space, and then you're going to chain 1. All right, so now to keep our place, you can take that stitch marker out of that and put it in here into that chain 1 space. All right, to hold your spot. So now you should have 10 stitches all the way around. For this next round, we're going to do 2 single crochets in our first stitch. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next. We're going to work 2 in the following, 1 in the next. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and just continue following this alternating stitches all the way around, close with a slip stitch in your chain 1 space and come back. By the end of this round, you should have 15 stitches. So go ahead and do that and then come back. So now that you've finished that round and you've closed with a slip stitch in your chain 1, now you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around. So by the end of this round, you should still only have 15 stitches because we're not increasing at all now. So you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch in your chain 1 space. Oops. And then you're going to chain 1 to begin the next round and come back. Okay, so now that you finished that round, you're going to go ahead and repeat that last round you just did where you're just doing 1 single crochet in every stitch around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1. You're going to go ahead and do that for 4 more rounds and then come back. Okay, so now that you finished those rounds, we are going to do a decrease round here. So you're going to push your hook into that first stitch, yarn over your hook, and pull up a loop. And then you're going to go right into that very next stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. You've now got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's a single crochet decrease. That just basically means that we took 2 single crochets and we turned them into 1 stitch. And just give me 1 minute here because I forgot to move up my stitch marker, which I really do definitely like to use it just to stay accurate, especially because you got to make 2 of everything, right? 2 legs, 2 arms. You really want the stitches to be, your counts to be on so that you don't end up with uneven arms and legs on your bunny. Okay, so you've done that single crochet decrease. Now you're going to single crochet 1 time in each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to go ahead and do another single crochet decrease. So let me do that one with you one more time. So you're going to push your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, push your hook in the very next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And then you're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, do another single crochet decrease. You're just going to do that right around. Close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. Okay, so now that you finished that round, you close with a slip stitch, chain 1. You now would have 12 stitches all the way around. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to do 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. And like I said, you should have 12 stitches now. You're going to close your round with a slip stitch and chain 1 to begin the next one, just like we've been doing all the while. And you're going to actually do this just working 1 single crochet in every stitch around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1. You are going to do that. Sorry, I'm looking away for a sec to read my pattern here. You are going to be doing that for a total of 22 rounds. So go ahead and do that for 22 rounds, just working 1 single crochet in every stitch around, closing with a slip stitch, chain 1. Go for 22 rounds and then come back. Okay. So now that you finished doing your rows, you're just going to go ahead and pull a little bit out and fasten it off. You're going to repeat those steps for the other leg, and whether you like to be stuffing it as you go along, stuffing it at the end when you're done with the piece that you're working on, that's totally up to you. You're going to notice when you make your second one, it's going to kind of look, I wanted to show you guys this because it might look like it's off with the sizing. When you stuff it, it's going to stretch the yarn a little bit. Okay, so it will, as long as you're following the stitch count exactly for both, it's going to work out just fine. So don't panic when you have one finished and stuffed and you do the other one and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a different size. No, it's not. As long as you're doing your stitch counts and everything correctly. and making sure that you're paying attention to that, you'll be just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. So you can pause and go work on the other leg and then come back when you're ready to move on to the next step. So we are going to begin doing the arms. All right, now. So for the arms, we're going to do our magic ring again. And again, if this is something in chain one, if this is something that you're struggling with and you need a little more focused help with it, there is a tutorial specifically just for magic rings in my channel, okay? So we're gonna single crochet 5 into the middle again, just like we did with the legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're gonna go ahead and close that magic ring up, pick up your working yarn, and then you're gonna close that off with a slip stitch. Oh my gosh, it's such an awkward starting point, right? I don't know, maybe you guys are doing much smoother with that part than me, but that, I think we all have a little something we struggle with, and that is my something. Okay, so you're gonna then chain 1, and we're gonna work 2 single crochets into every single stitch all the way around. So you're going to end up with 10 stitches by the time you get to the end of this round. And you're going to close with a slip stitch in your chain 1 space, and then chain 1 and come back. Okay, so now that you finished that round and you've got 10 stitches around, and of course there I go with my stitch marker again, because I really do love them. I don't know how you guys find them, but I love them. So you're going to go and work 1 single crochet in every stitch around. As I said, you should have 10 stitches. Okay, you're going to close with a slip stitch and chain 1. You're going to keep on doing that for a total of 29 rows, and then come back. Okay, so now that you finished doing all those rows to make the arm, you're going to do the same as the leg. Just pull a little bit up, fasten it off, finish pulling the rest of that through. You're going to go ahead and stuff that. Repeat the same steps for the other arms. So once you have 2 arms, 2 legs, then come back and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so now that we have finished the arms and the legs, we're now going to move on to the body. So again, my least favorite part is the magic ring. So we're going to do our magic ring, and we're going to chain 2. All right, we're going to single crochet 5 times in, oops. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to single crochet 5 times into our magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to go ahead and pull our magic ring closed. Just find the little tail end there, pull that closed. All right, now we're going to close it with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 1. And go ahead and get your stitch marker if you're anything like me and it helps you. And now you're going to single crochet 2 times in every single stitch all the way around. So by the end of this round, you'll have 10 stitches. You're going to close with a slip stitch in your chain 1 space, and then you're going to chain 1 to begin the next round, and then come back. Okay, so now for this next round, we're going to single crochet 2 times in our first stitch, and we're going to single crochet, 1 time in the next. You're going to go ahead and follow that, alternating all the way around, close with a slip stitch and chain 1. So you're going to do 2 stitches, 1, 2, 1, all the way around. By the end of this round, you should have 15 stitches, and then come back. Okay, so now for this next round, we're going to work 2 single crochets in our first stitch, 1 single crochet in the following 2 stitches, so 1 in each of the following 2, then 2 in that next stitch, and 1 in each of the following 2 stitches. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and continue following that all the way around. By the end of the round, you should have 20 stitches. Close with a slip stitch and chain 1 and then come back. So now for this next round, you're going to work 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the following 3, each of the following 3 stitches. Okay, and you're going to follow that all the way around. So 2 in this next one, 1 in the following 3. All the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1 and come back. And by the end of this round, you should have 25 stitches. Okay, so now for this next round, you're going to work 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the following 4 stitches. So you're going to go ahead, continue that all the way around, close with a slip stitch and chain 1. And by the time you get to the to the end of this round, you should have, let me just see here, 30 stitches. Okay, so go ahead and do that and then come back. So for this next round, you're going to work 2 single crochets in that first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the following 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 2 in the next, and you're just going to go ahead and continue on alternating. So 2 in the next, then 1 in the following 5 stitches. All the way around, close the slip stitch, chain 1 and come back. And by the end of this round, you should have 35 stitches. So go ahead and do that. All right, so this round is a little different because this is where we're going to start attaching the legs to the body of our bunny, okay? So you're going to work 2 single crochets in the first stitch. We're going to work 1 in the following 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to go ahead and get one of our bunny legs. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and read it as it says. And of course, like, you need to have the leg stuffed at this point. So now the pattern says, holding the top of the first leg closed by pressing the opening closed to create a straight edge, lining up the stitches, we're going to attach with single crochets in the next 6 stitches while working through the stitches at the top, of the top of the leg to fully attach and close. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take this leg, and literally you have an opening like this. You're just going to press it closed so it's a straight edge across. And because our leg, it was 12 stitches around, when you close it like this and we're attaching them, we're going to need 6 stitches in order to properly attach it to the body. So holding it up and lining it up, it's a little tricky, but it'll work out, don't worry. So you're going to go ahead and push your hook right through. You want to make sure you're lining it up evenly, and then you're also going to have to line it up in the top of your work here. I'm really trying to give you a good view. So push it into that, where's the next stitch that has to be worked? There it is, okay? And then you're just going to yarn over and pull through all of those. So you're pulling through the next stitch on the body plus the double layer of the stitches of the legs. Yarn over and pull right through like this, okay? So regular single crochet, but you're just going through a lot of stitches. So you're gonna, I'll do the next one here with you. Push it right through there, find that next stitch to be worked, push it in, yarn over, and pull right through all of them. Yarn over and pull through those stitches, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead, that's 2. This is 3. Then we've got 4. 5. And 6. All right, so that would now have the first leg fully attached to the body. And our next step, So after those 6 stitches, we're going to single crochet once in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so just 4 regular single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now in this next stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets. Then 1 in the following 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to attach the other leg. And you want to make sure, like you're going to notice when you're looking at the leg, you can see a little bit of the shape of the foot. You want to make sure that you have the feet facing the right direction, okay? You don't want one facing forward, one facing backwards. That would be a little crazy. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach the other leg the same way we did the first one. Okay, and I'm just trying to see. Okay, sorry, I was just trying to see the next step after that so I can just seamlessly walk you through this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach this other leg in these following 6 stitches. So that's 1. Let me just get a good grip on my yarn. Okay. Oops. It can be a little tricky to make sure that you're getting through all of the stitches, so please take your time. 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one here, 6. All right. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet once in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 in that very last stitch there, and then close with a slip stitch. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1. Okay, so now you are going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch. This is for our next round here. So you will have closed with a slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, so you're going to do 2 in the first stitch, 1 in the next, 2 in the first stitch, 1 in the next. Go ahead and continue that all the way around, okay? Completely, like even over these stitches that are over the legs. You're just going to go all the way around, treat it like a regular round, close with a slip stitch, chain 1. By the end of this round, you should have 57 stitches. So go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, so for this next round, you're just going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1. You're going to do that for a total of 10 rounds and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished all of those rows, you can go ahead and move your stitch marker. Okay, and we can go ahead and put it into our chain 1 space. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to single crochet decrease. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet in the following 9 stitches. Okay, and then you're going to do single crochet decrease, single crochet in the next 9 stitches. You're going to repeat that alternating all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1 and come back. Okay, so now you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then you're going to do this again. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every single stitch around. Do that for 2 rounds and then come back. Okay, So now that you've finished those 2 rounds of working 1 single crochet in every stitch around, we're going to do another decrease round. So you're going to do a single crochet decrease, and then you're going to do a single crochet, just 1, in each of the following 2 stitches. And then you're going to do a single crochet decrease again, and then 1 single crochet in each of the following 2 stitches. So keep doing that all the way around, close the slip stitch and come back. Okay, so now you're just going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every single stitch around. And you're going to obviously close the slip stitch and chain 1. And you're going to do that for 8 rounds in total. So go ahead and do 8 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished those 8 rounds, it's time to start with our round that's going to be attaching the arms. So we are going to single crochet in the first 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, using the same technique that we did for the legs is how we are going to do the arms. Just that keep in mind, this would now be 5 stitches across because our total stitches around the arms was 10, and folding it in half, we're just breaking the amount of stitches in half. So it'll be across these next 5 stitches that you're working your single crochets to attach that arm. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now we're gonna single crochet into the next 14 stitches, or I mean, like wherever if you line it up and you see it's different how you want to, like, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing single crochets, and then where you want the arm to be, attach it, and then you're just going to finish off with single crochets. But this is how many I did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now you're going to get the other arm and attach that into those next 5 stitches with single crochets. Where is that stitch coming from? Okay, so it's a little tricky, right? The yarn is absolutely beautiful and so soft, but it's definitely not my favorite as far as, you know, for seeing your work very clearly. So, I mean, if you're experiencing a frustration with that, you're not alone, but you gotta admit, it's so worth it. For a snuggly stuffy. This yarn is the best. It's just wonderful. Okay, and then you've only got a couple of more stitches there to your seam. Literally, I have like one slip stitch. All right, have a look. Make sure that they're even to the arms. Just have a little look and make sure. This is the moment to make sure that you're happy with how they're placed, where they are. And see, I'm a little unhappy. Like, I don't feel like the top of this arm is stuffed enough. I think it's sitting funny. So I'm literally just gonna, this is just the way it goes sometimes, pull mine out. I'm gonna stuff it a bit more and attach it again. So go ahead and just look, make sure it's even, make sure you're happy with everything. And then we're gonna move on to the next step. So I will be right back in 2 seconds. I gotta go fix that. And we're gonna move on to the next step right now. Okay, so now that you are happy with where your arms are positioned and how your bunny is looking so far, we are gonna move on to the next step. So we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so we're just gonna be working 1 half double crochet, or sorry, why am I saying half double crochet? I'm so sorry, guys. I hope I didn't make that slip up anywhere else in this tutorial. If I did, I'm very sorry. It's all single crochets, as you can see. So if I have said that, it just hit me now. I'm like, I wonder if I've kind of absent-mindedly done that, because that's weird. I just caught myself right now. So if I did, I'm very sorry. But anyway, it's single crochets. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. Close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back after you've done that for 2 rounds. So you're going to do 2 rounds of working 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. Okay, so go ahead and do that for 2 rounds and then come back. Okay, so now you're going to do another decrease round. So we're just going to do a single crochet decrease and then a single crochet, a single crochet decrease, and then a single crochet. And you're just going to go ahead and repeat that all the way around and then come back. Okay, so now at this point, just pull a little bit out to go ahead and stuff your bunny body. So get it stuffed exactly how you would like it to be, and then come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to finish up this top portion and move on to the next step. I like to do it very loosely. I don't like, it depends, I guess it depends on the project, but I want this one to be really soft and squishy. I don't want it to be super firm, but I still want it to be firm enough that it doesn't look like it's missing stuffing, you know? It's a little bit of a tricky one to get just right. But you can also just, right, like play around with the shape of it and get it just right. So now that you've got your bunny stuffed, you're going to go ahead and work a single crochet decrease, okay, and then a single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet decrease, and single crochet in the next stitch. And you're just going to go ahead and work that all the way around and then come back. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do that round one more time, but so where you're doing single crochet decrease, single crochet, single crochet decrease, single crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way around one more time, but when you close with your slip stitch, don't chain 1. So close with a slip stitch and come back. Okay, so now that you're here, you've closed with a slip stitch, you're going to pull a long tail end, okay, fasten it off, continue to pull that through. Now what you're going to do is just get your hook, and weaving in and out of every other stitch, you're just going to pull in and out. So that's out. We're going to skip a stitch, go here, pull it in, skip a stitch, go in here, pull it out. Okay, do that all the way around, and then you're just going to pull that like a drawstring to close it up. Okay, so close that right up. I know it's a little weird and morbid right now because you've got yourself a little headless bunny, but that's okay because we're about to go and work on the head right now. So you can put this little guy aside for the moment, and let's work on the head. All right, so for the head to begin, we are going to make our magic ring. You guys are probably pros at this magic ring by now, unless you're anything like me, and you will never become like a real fancy pro at this one. I always look like a mess doing that. Okay, so you do your magic ring, chain 1, and now we're going to single crochet 5 times into our magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Straighten that out. That was super awkward for me because the ring is huge that I was just trying to hold on to and work in. So that definitely does not make it any easier. All right, so there you go. And you're just gonna pull that closed and close with a slip stitch into that little chain 1 space that you started off with, and chain 1. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and do our 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around, and by the end of this round you should have 10 stitches. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. Okay, so now for this next round we're going to do 2 single crochets into our first stitch and 1 single crochet in the following stitch. Okay, and you're just going to go ahead and continue alternating that all the way around. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. At the end of this round you should have 15 stitches. Okay, so for this next round you're going to do 2 single crochet in your first stitch, and you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the following 2. You're going to follow that alternating pattern all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. At the end of this round you should have 20 stitches. Okay, now for this next round, let me see where we are. Okay, so you're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the following 3. 2 in the next, 1 in each of the following 3. So you're going to do that all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. And by the end of that round, you should have 25 stitches. Okay, so now for this next round, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the following 4 stitches. You're going to repeat that alternating all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and come back. By the end of this round, you will have 30 stitches. Okay, so now for this next round, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the following 5 stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way around, close with a slip stitch, and chain 1. And by the end of this round, you should have 35 stitches. Okay, so now for this next round, you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the following 6. You're going to repeat that all the way around, close with a slip stitch, and chain 1. And by the end of this round, you should have 40 stitches. Okay, this is our last round of increasing. So you're going to do 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the following 7. You're going to continue that alternating pattern all the way around, close of the slip stitch, chain 1. And when you finish this round, you should have 45 stitches. Okay, so now what you're going to do is work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. You're going to close of the slip stitch, chain 1. You're going to do that for a total of, let me see how many rounds here, 7 rounds in total. So go ahead and do 7 rounds, just working 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, and then come back. Okay, so now that you have finished those 7 rounds, you're just going to pull a little bit out here, fasten it off. You will reattach the yarn after we finish doing the ears. Okay, so put that aside for now, and we're going to go ahead and work on the ears. So for the ears, you're just going to make a regular starting loop. Okay, and we're going to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then working in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a single crochet, and then in each chain down the row. So you're going to have 6 stitches by the end of this. So not this first chain, but the second one from the hook. We're going to work a single crochet. So that's 1 and each one down. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now for our next row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to single crochet twice in the first stitch. So 1 and 2. We're going to single crochet once in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. And we're going to single crochet 2 times in that very last stitch. So 1 and then 1 more in that same space. So by the end of that row, you should have 8 stitches. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work. Now we're going to single crochet once in each stitch down the row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, chain 1 and turn your work. Now, sorry guys, I'm just reading my pattern as I go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 2 in the first stitch, 1 in the next, and we're going to alternate that all the way down. So you're just going to do 2 in that first stitch, 1 in the next. And you're just going to do that all the way down and then come back. At the end of this row, you should have 12 stitches. So go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, so when you get to the end there, you're going to do your chain 1 and turn your work. And we're going to just repeat that down this next row too. So you're going to single crochet twice in the first stitch, 1 in the next. 2 times 1, 2, 1, all the way down. By the end of this row, you should have 18 stitches. So just go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that and you chain 1 and turn your work, I know it's like kind of going to be, you're going to be like, okay, it's looking a little crazy. Don't worry, it'll work out. So you're going to do 1 single crochet in all 18 stitches all the way down. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. You're going to do that for 3 rows. So go ahead and do 3 rows of just working 1 single crochet in each stitch, chain 1, turn your work. So go do 3 rows of that and then come on back. Okay, so now that you've finished those 3 rows, we're going to do a single crochet decrease. Okay, And then you're going to single crochet one time in the next 14 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so 14. And now you're going to do a single crochet decrease to finish this row. Okay, so decrease, chain 1, and turn your work. So now at the end of this row, you should have 16 stitches. Okay, now what you're going to do is single crochet once in each stitch down the row. So again, 16 stitches you should have right now. So you're going to crochet 1 single crochet in each stitch, and you're going to obviously chain 1, turn your work. You are going to do that for a total of, let me see how many rows here. For 25 rows. Okay, so here is where you're probably going to want to put a stitch marker right there so you can keep counting your rows. And you're going to go ahead and work 25 rows of just working 1 single crochet in each stitch across. And again, to recap, you're supposed to have 16 stitches by now. Okay, so go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished doing those 25 rows of working 1 single crochet in every stitch, we are going to move on now. So you'll have chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're going to single crochet decrease. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Then you're going to single crochet in the following 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you're going to single crochet decrease twice. So that's 1, and now we're going to do another decrease. That's 2. And now we're going to single crochet once in the next 4 stitches. And then we're going to finish this row with another decrease. Okay, chain 1 and turn your work. So by the end of that row, you should have 12 stitches now. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet decrease. We're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to single crochet decrease again. And we're going to single crochet once in the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to decrease again. And now by the end of this row, you should have 9 stitches. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. We are going to single crochet decrease twice. So that's once, and now another decrease. You're going to single crochet 1 time in that following stitch there. And then we're going to single crochet decrease 2 times again to end this row. And you should now have 5 stitches. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Okay. Now we're going to single crochet decrease, single crochet in that 1 stitch there, and single crochet decrease. So you'll now have 3 stitches in this row. Chain 1 and turn your work. You're going to single crochet 1 time in each of those 3 stitches. Chain 1. Okay. And now what you're going to do is you're going to you're just going to single crochet evenly all the way around the entire edge of the ear. It's just going to give it that nice, I'll show you the difference. I've already done my first ear. So when you have a look at what you've got right now, it looks really cute, but I just think it looks a little bit nicer when the edge has been cleaned up. So you see the difference with those two? It's not a huge difference, but it's noticeable enough, I think, that it makes it worth it to do this 1 extra step. So you're literally just going to go and single crochet evenly all the way around the whole entire edge of that bunny ear, and then come back. And you will close with a slip stitch here. So if you want to put your stitch marker so you don't lose where you just started off, that's not a bad idea. And just go ahead and work your way all the way around, close with a slip stitch, and come back. So now that you've finished cleaning up the edge of your bunny ear, you can stretch it out to flatten it out or whatever. Okay, you're just gonna, after you've closed it with a slip stitch, just pull up a long tail end, because you can use that to sew on the ear. Fasten it off and just pull that right through. So go ahead and repeat those steps to make the other ear, and then come back. Okay, so now when you look at what you've got going on for the head so far, you're going to take your ears and just position them, have a look, sort of place things to see where you want them to go. Like, you don't want to have it where it's covering, these are big floppy ears, and you want to be sure you are going to stuff the head, so it will be fuller, but you don't want to have it like this where then it might be hard to see the face. I like to put it just kind of sitting a little bit more to the back, and then you're going to position the eyes, the nose, and whatnot. You might even want to start with doing the eyes and nose first. So why don't we just go ahead, right now is when you're going to go ahead and sew on the ears using your yarn needle. And you're going to go ahead and attach your eyes and nose. If you're doing a mouth as well, go ahead and do that. So this is the part where you want to just get the face on, get the ears on, before you continue on with the head, stuffing it and closing it and whatnot, and finishing, moving on to the next step. So as I mentioned, I am going to be using this safety kit of the different little like eyes and noses that I got off Amazon. I really, really like this kit. I think it's super cute. It's really easy to use. So literally all you're gonna do, my little guy who I'm making this for has said that he wants a green bunny and he wants green eyes on his green bunny. So we've got that here. So I'm gonna just kind of place these and have a look at where I want them to go. Now remember that we're going to be finishing off the rest of the head, so you do have more space that's going to be coming down. I'll tell you how many more rows. Let's see here. So where does it say? Go ahead and continue head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have like 6 more rows of work you're doing to finish off the head. Okay. So keep that in mind when you're positioning the face. I like the face to be a little closer to the bottom of the work. So I'm just going to position these and just kind of see, okay, where do I want them to go? Do I want the eyes closer together? Do I want them farther apart? You want to make sure that they're even. So I'm trying to look and make sure I'm putting them on the same row. It's like, actually, like this would make a really cute face starting off for a turtle. So you're just going to go ahead. They have all kinds of different little noses here. Like I really haven't even checked these out. This looks very bunny nose to me, a little triangle shape. I think that's really cute. So I'm going to position it and see how I want it to go. Maybe you want to add little eyelashes with some yarn. I don't know, whatever you want to do, but go ahead and position the face how you want it to be. Sew on the ears and then come back and we'll move on. Sorry, I will do one more thing here to show you. So for those of you that might get this kit and you want to really know how to use it. So some of these little stoppers are bigger. There's a package of the bigger ones. And when you're looking, you can see the backing of the noses are bigger than the eyes. So you want to use the smaller backing for the eyes. And you literally just go ahead and push that right on. And it's going to secure it in place. I'm not going to do it just yet because I want to make sure this is exactly how I want it to be. But it's that simple to use. So I really do highly recommend this kit. But anyway, go ahead and attach the face and the ears and then come back. Okay, so now that you've attached your ears, you've attached your face for your bunny, we are ready to finish up the head. Okay? Those are some seriously floppy ears, right? All right, so you're gonna go ahead and reattach your yarn at the seam there. Okay, just get your hook in place, make your starting loop again. And chain one. So now what you're going to do is work 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, close with a slip stitch and chain 1. And you're going to do that for a total of 4 rounds. Sorry, I'm just putting in my stitch marker. I really do. It just makes it like completely mindless for when you get distracted, right? That's what I love about those. So anyway, just go ahead and do that for 4 rounds of working 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, 4 rounds of that, and then come back. So for this next round, what you're going to do is you're going to do a single crochet decrease, and then you're going to single crochet once in the following 5 stitches. Do a decrease, single crochet once in the following 5. You're going to do that all the way around, close with a slip stitch and come back. Okay. So now for this next round, you're going to single crochet decrease, and then you're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And I think it's just, yep, and you're going to continue just alternating like that. So single crochet decrease, single crochet in the next. Do that all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1, do it again, the same one. So you're doing 2 rounds of decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet. You're doing 2 rounds of that and then come back. So now that you've finished those 2 rounds, you're going to pull a long tail end after you've just closed with that slip stitch. Pull off a long tail end, fasten it off. Okay, go ahead and stuff your bunny head and then come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to finish it up. So just stuff it really good and then come back and we'll finish it. Okay, so now that you have it all stuffed, you're going to get your hook, and the same way that you did with the top of the body, just every other stitch, you're going to weave that tail end in and out, okay? So make sure that you are going in and out, like you have to alternate it that way, okay? So that's out. Now we're going to pull it in. And we're going to do that all the way around. To close it up. Okay. Is it just me, or do you get so excited when you're getting to the end of a project to see it done? And then either have a million other ones on the go or a million other ones in your mind that you can't wait to start. Okay. I am just so excited to give this to my little guy. I made one already for his sister, and he is just like so excited to get his bunny. Okay, so you're gonna pull that like a drawstring to close it up, okay? And if you want to just really feel extra secure, you can go and just push your hook on a stitch on the opposite side of what you know was the circle, and then pull that through. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is go and get your bunny. Let me try and change the angle of this so you can get a better view of when I'm finishing it up here. Okay, so you're gonna get your bunny body and your bunny head. Okay, you're gonna just position that on, and just using your yarn needle, you're just gonna go and just connect, sewing them all the way around, all the way through. So go ahead and just sew that little bunny head on, squish it, make it exactly the shape that you like, play around with it a little, and your bunny is done.